Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. You know, there's a movie that's been going around for quite some time and call it How the Grinch Stole Christmas. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It kind of puts you in the mind of a lot of things now, doesn't it? They also said that the Santa Claus story, was instituted to replace the idea of God. Well, I guess each individual has the right to make out what that means for them, because a lot of people don't see it like that. A lot of people think it's an entertainment, something that can bring the family together at least one more time of the year, and to exchange gifts, etc., etc. And for some, it's an opportunity for people to remind themselves of how life should basically be every day. So if you say it's to keep your mind off God, that's because that's what it does. And you should just focus yourself on that, because to others it might not mean that same thing. However, when you think about how the Grinch stole Christmas, it might make you think about how Satan stole. And yes, I'm sure the question comes around how Satan stole America. Now, when I say how Satan stole America, you have to think about the condition that America is in. What would be uh, real as far as its representative is concerned based upon the conduct of the American people? Well, for the most part, Satan has been described as a liar, cheat, and all those other kind of things, and utilizes those kinds of tools to be able to do the things that is done. So it makes no complicated effort to decide or to see life, America, in its system as it really is. But you think about America, and I'm speaking of it because we're having a political season right here where some strange things are happening. I mean, some very strange things are happening based upon at least my understanding of the way it was designed to be, or others' idea of how it's designed to be. And anyway, there's conflict, all kinds of conflict. But I think about it, ladies and gentlemen, you stole a country. Satan walk in and steal a country. And you might say, how in the world could that have happened? And somebody might suggest that, well, it happened in heaven, and that's the place where we've considered as being the best place to be in the beginning, and the best place to end up is heaven. Now, if Satan was able to walk through heaven and mess up a few, that seems to be nothing down here. But we understand that at the time it was discovered that Satan had done that, then Satan and those who bought into it were exiled out of heaven. Now, where were they exiled to? I have no idea. I can say at that time they weren't speaking of human beings being here on the earth, and now we are, so could stand to reason that maybe rather than put that spirit into pigs, they put it into humans. I'm not saying that is so, but I am saying that is the conduct that produces um, hell. Now, what did Satan do? Satan come on the scene. Here's a, you know how 1492 and all that stuff happened, and even before then. But we're going to bring it up to 1776 when they decided that this would be a nation. Now, who is here talking about that? It is the people from someplace else who didn't live here, from someplace else, who had the wherewithal to leave their place and go someplace else, which happened to be here, for a purpose, well, many purposes. Some said was to find, looking for spices or whatever, or looking for gold, or looking for more wealth, or looking for a place to go, anything, you name it. It was just a prize waiting to be had, and people had enough courage to say, let's go and check it out. There was nothing wrong with deciding to go and check it out, but when they came to check it out, they found out that there were people here. There were people here. But rather than acknowledge that, they looked for a time to say that it was discovered and founded by someone else. That was good for for the public understanding of how this nation was founded. at the same time, they say those people that were here eventually had to be quartered off into some type of separate life situation. Some were murdered in war. Anything that had to be done to get these people in shape. Shut up. We run this thing. We got the guns. Your bow and arrows will not work. We will kill you. Or if you want to fight, we'll die we'll die killing you. And if you don't want to die, we got a little spot over here. We want to take you out of the public view, get you out of the way. And you can imagine how that stuff takes place. But not only that, they decided from that point on they were going to what? Identify, capture, and conquer or steal whatever was required to possess all of the natural resources that were important to the use by man. Now, some of it weren't discovered at that time. You have to realize we were dealing with perhaps horse and buggy or wooden boats and stuff. But as time would pass on toward now, they would use that same power to conquer and own the resources that were designed for anybody who had need of it. Now it is owned. My. Now they didn't stop there. We're talking about how the devil captured America. Then they took another race of people and beat them down, did whatever they had to do to them, to turn them into absolute slaves, to work and serve them just as horses and donkeys and camels and anything that you can use to further your cause. They were turned and treated just like that. Now, look at this is Satan. This is what Satan is doing to people, as he had told other people amongst that there are those that are more important, there are those that's more special, that are more deserving. All of the old routine stuff, it's nothing new. And they keep on practicing it. That's what they were doing here. Now you got the slaves, you got on the resources, you got rid of the natives, and now you're dealing with your own kind, because now you're messing with that common conversation where all of you should be on some basic line, except that some got and some don't, and you're going to have a conversation where some who don't won't, and they will try. And so what you're going to have a big old conflict going. This is called division. This is called deception, separation, so you can conquer. And you might end up calling something like that Republican or Democrat or conservative or liberal, thing you come up with, just hiding the truth about what's going on. Now, for 245 years, this kind of stuff has been going on. Systems have been set up. Government ran. The church supporting it. And yes, there were those who just didn't buy into it. But the mission was to eventually draw them into it, to put their hands to the plow. Or if they didn't put their hands to the plow, to shut their mouths up and don't say anything. Who were these? They weren't black people. They were white people. Those are white people in America, the same kind of people that right now wants to say that black people don't have voices, who are trying to pass laws that would eliminate the truth and tell some fancy lie to those who are learning. That tells you exactly what's been going on since the inception of this country. Yeah, my friends. And now we've had 247 years of continuation of that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, Satan has found a voice that will replicate whatever Satan wants to say. And what he's talked about is hatred and racism and bigotry, all of that stuff that has been primary in the American psychic since long before its beginning. Stirred it up, put a little salt, little seasoning to it, spices, spiced it up. And right now, the rules and regulations that had been set up some time ago to protect it, the system, to protect it, the government, by a constitution, to protect it from the devil. Now, the voice of the devil speaks. And it brings all of this hatred and all this racism stuff, all this people that are ready to go to war with their own sisters and brothers to do what the devil wants, because the devil promises them something that they believe the devil can deliver. And so here in America today, we got people saying that the current president of the United States, who goes right along to some measure of a little change, but actually going right along with the 247 years of state that America has been to some people. But then there's this other voice that's speaking for Satan, that's representing what really all the people got, but some can contain it because it's ugly. And the rest of them are standing up, and rather than try to find something decent to represent them, they are trying to find something just like them. A snake, a liar, a hater, a racist, a bigot. This is what America is looking for, to be their leader, because this is what America is. When you start talking about how wonderful America is, all that was just BS, just to trick people. You know how you came on the scene and tried to be, you were friendly with the natives until the natives accepted you as friendly, and then you sucker punched them. So you grow across the country talking about how wonderful America is, only waiting for the opportunity to sucker punch. Now, how do you prepare yourself for sucker punching? You make sure that you take, well, you don't have to take anything from the people. They never had it anyway. But you utilize what would have been available or should have been available for the people to amass a military might that would give you the ability to scare folks who don't have, give you the military might to shoot a bullet at a person who might have a rock and a stick. And so, you know, you can basically wipe them out, or if they don't have some truth, they will willingly submit to just live any way they possibly can. And so this is a continuation of the world. We see this happening in America today. I thought that I would take a moment of your time on this Saturday morning, heading right up to this Christmas, to tell you that we can say how wonderful we are. We can give out some turkeys. We can pass out some gifts. But Satan is leading us straight to hell, and we are too blind to see it. Let me say that again. Satan is leading us straight to hell, and we are too blind to see it. We are so blind that the things that we hope for, the things that we pray for, when the power of all power lay it right before you and say, it is yours, all you got to do is see it and claim it. And you step right over it because you cannot see it, you do not see it, you cannot claim it, and you walk right on, holding on to the hands of Satan, holding on to the hands of evil. Now, most folk won't tell you that. I tell you that because I'm speaking for the truth. You think I'm lying? You look out there and see those people who got no place to stay. You think I'm lying? You look at those people who are losing their lives because they can't continue their education. You think I'm lying? Look at those people that's laying sick, hollering and screaming, going through pain because we thought that it was more important to try to make money than to find cures for sicknesses and diseases. You tell me that those folks out there who are stealing and stuff, who are breaking into homes, trying to find a measure of getting a little bit more because they do not have that would allow them to have a career that would enable them to benefit from anything in this life because they are part of it. You tell me that. And if you can't tell me that, you got to agree with what I'm saying, whether you open your mouth and say it or not. We know the truth. We don't need the courts to tell us that Donald Trump messed over this country. We see it. What we also see is how the system is playing around to let him get away with it, to let the devil get away with it, to let evil continue in this country. That's what we also see. Supreme Court. That's what we see. We see how the devil is messing with you. Don't think you are smart. You're no smarter than the average Joe Blow out here on the street. They just put a little power in your hand to say that you do, and you're going to act just like everybody else. Watch you. Till next time, goodbye for now.